Okay, common gamer here. I'm going to do a autism blog on the history of autism. Autism was discovered by Dr. Asperger's. That's why they used to say Asperger's or some of autism. But as of 2015, they don't diagnose you with Asperger's anymore. It's just autism. But I still consider people who are diagnosed with Asperger's to have Asperger's. They can't leave them out either. Um, Autism was discovered by a German doctor in the early 30s, and they just discovered it, but they didn't really understand very much. It was just recently discovered. Originally, they thought it was because the mother didn't love their kid, but that was not true. That was just the way doctors just assumed for years. And then in the 30s, they did experiments on people with autism. And then in the 40s, um, in a lot of the countries, they didn't know what to do with the diagnosis of autism. They would just take the kid away from the family. They did that throughout during that time. And then in the 50s, they would do lobotomies on people with autism, and in the 60s. Then in 1968, that's when lobotomies became outlawed. But people with autism were still institutionalized. Um, and then in the 70s, they weren't allowed to take a person on the spectrum away from a family. The family said no, and they had to not do that. But then eventually they ended up in institutions. But the institutions were closed, and then education during the 70s they would segregate the kids away until the Education Act of 1979 of the IPP. That's when it was integrated, where kids could go to the same school, the same classroom, and then it changed in the 80s. They did more stuff like learning centers and resource places, special education stuff. The 90s, we got diagnosed with autism. That was the best, starting of the best times to be diagnosed, because governments couldn't do anything to you then. And then it came a long way. But during the 30s, people with autism, they just keep you in a hospital for a long time. It's not like that today, but we still got a long ways to go. We came a we came a long ways. Um, Now, governments still give people with disabilities and autism disorder end of the stick. They discriminate against us. That's what they do. Discrimination. What the government do. Um, but I'm on the fighting end, so that's not going to happen for very much longer. But um, things are a lot more inclusive now than what they used to be. But still got a long ways to go for the inclusion part. I will do more history of autism and some famous people that were good famous people that are on the spectrum that were diagnosed now than they weren't diagnosed as a kid. I will do that next week, and each Friday will be the history of autism for Autism Month to educate. Hope you have a good day, night, evening, and you are loved by someone and you're cared about by someone and you're loved.